We're ready for action at Little Rissington. It's Minibikes up first in Super 1. Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei in the commentary box. And what a grid. Jensen Butterfield and Dexter Patterson on the front row from Johnny Edgar and Lorcan Hannafin. Alex Lloyd and Finley Bunce, Tom Canning, Guy Cunnington, Kieran Jeremy and Rufus Hunt round out the top 10. There's at least 4 drivers in that mix who could lead into the first corner. 6 or 7 of them could win the race. Away we go and up to the first corner. Butterfield slices across and takes the early advantage. There's jostling and there's contact already. Big smash there. Lloyd and Bunce get too close together, and that is going to be a really big hammer blow to Bunce's chances this weekend and in the championship fight as well. Let's have a look again. Up to the first corner. It just gets a little bit too close in the first corner. Looks to me like Lloyd got a little bit of a push there, up and over, and almost riding pillion with Finley Bunce.
Oh, and look at Finley's radiator hose, it's been ripped out. That will be a mechanical flag for Finley Bunce. We're on board here with Clayton Ravenscroft. He's lost 3 places coming out of the dog leg as they come down through bottom bend for the first time.
Oh!
1 2 3 4 5.
Oh my
6
word!
off. 6 carts off through bottom bend, and I'm pretty sure, radiator fluid on the track.
Wow, well that just
and
shows
there are
you.
the 6 drivers that were involved in that incident. 4 of them still in the long stuff,
Yep.
trying to pull the carts out.
It's Alex Bentley in there, Brandon Abraham, Ben Burgess is in there, Oakley Pryor is in that mix as well. Absolutely
Zach Oates.
bizarre. Yep, you're right, Zach Oates. Owen Johnson in there as well. Burgess and Pryor have got away with it. 45, Zach Oates. Arms in the air. Come on, what's going on here? He's probably asking for the race to be red flagged.
Yeah, we're on board here with Johnny Edgar. That's Tom Canning in front on the 21s. They come down through bottom bend where those carts are off. And Edgar's off!
Oh
Canning's
no,
off!
this is getting silly now.
Oh, I tell you what, Jake. Those drivers on the outside there, if they haven't already been told by the marshal, they'll get told very quickly, move out of the way, because that could have been serious. Now, there's Zach Oates. He's saying, where's the help? Where's the help when you need it?
Well, where's the red flag as well?
The marshals are telling them now to move out the way. They won't get red flag for that because nobody's injured, Jake, but they will be told move out the way. But Zach Oates was having none of that, was he? He was just pulling his car out. I'm not moving my car. Well, there's the radiator hose ripped out. Turn 1, lap 1. That's on Finley Bunce's kart, so you can see Finley still running.
Well, this is going to be a real lottery of a race this now, isn't it?
Well, he's going to get a mechanical flag. He won't have seen it yet, but it won't be long before the marshals, if they haven't already put a flag out, not already seen it, they will come up with a mechanical flag at some point for Finley Bunce. Let's have a look. There's Finley on the 58. Well, there's a marshal on post 9 looking at Finley Bunce's kart. And indeed, they're on the radio now. They're on the radio now reporting.
Yeah, there it is. Technical flag
Yeah,
for...
he's going to get that next time round.
Yeah, Finley Bunce is going to be out of this race, unfortunately. But all of that mayhem has given us a real mixture in the order. Jensen Butterfield in the O-plate still out in front. This is Klaas Koika having a fantastic battle with Clayton Ravenscroft, our cameraman. And they're still scrapping away as they make their way through the dogleg. I'm surprised we haven't actually had more drama at that part of the circuit. Yellow flags waving, of course, and they now all know that if they're not careful through that part of the course, they'll be joining the boys in the grass marsh stage left. Yeah,
you've got to bear in mind as well, a wave yellow flag doesn't just mean slow down, it means slow down, be prepared to stop.
Absolutely.
And, how often have we seen it in Formula 1 where that's just completely and utterly ignored? I remember years ago, I won't say what driver it was, came around a left-hander, hit a tyre that was in the middle of the track, a red flag came out. He maintained his position in the race because the race was then over and it goes back a lap, and frankly, I believe he should have been penalised a lot more than he was, certainly not held on to his position, because these kids are watching Formula 1, and if the Formula 1 drivers aren't slowing down for yellow flags and being prepared to stop, then why should these kids? And the Formula 1 drivers have to understand they've got a lot of responsibility. As we see, the 14 of Rufus Hunt up the inside for second place. He started 10th, Jake. Rufus promised me a podium this weekend. I said, is it going to be this weekend, Rufus? And he said, you know what, I'm quick this weekend. I could win this weekend. Come on, Rufus Hunt.
Well, he's doing an absolutely cracking job from P10. We're on board again with Edgar as we look to the 48 of Alex Lloyd, and that's Kieran Jeremy, who's now up into... Well, he's well into the top 10, of course, by now. P20 started, finished P15 last time out. Now here comes Edgar up the inside into the dogleg. That got a little bit too close for comfort, and I would not be surprised if that was picked up by the marshals. Edgar may be in trouble for that one. They may take a very dim view of that.
Little bit of contact there. Depends what was seen and what wasn't seen. Doesn't look like there's anything on the... Doesn't sound like anything on the radio, so may have just about got away with that. There is Johnny Edgar going through on the 17.
Yeah, they could well call that one a racing incident, I suppose. They're two drivers battling for the same bit of track. Up the inside, though, beautiful overtake there from Tom Canning as he makes the move on Locke and Hannafin. Great battle between these two. Don't forget, he is the championship leader, and he's playing catch-up. I think he was one of the drivers that went off on the radiator fluid, so he's out of position now. It's kind of thrown a bit of a random dice move of a field, this, hasn't it, the radiator fluid? There are a lot of drivers out of position who are trying to fight their way back through. So we've got action pretty much every corner of every lap for this race. Minimax is on fire at the moment. Yeah,
you just see the raindrops on that static camera there as they approach bottom bend. So not only have they got the radiator fluid on the track to contend with earlier on, which looks like that's dissipated now, but you've got the rain coming down. It is drizzling at the moment. It's drizzling and they're all on slicks.
As if we needed any more fluid to spice up this race. It's doing perfectly well without it, thanks very much. It's already a bit of a classic in the making, but we're getting some pretty exciting stuff now as this is the battle for fourth position behind our three leaders. Still, Koika is not quite able to get on terms with Ravenscroft, then in sixth position behind Tom Canning, leading the chase, but it's still Butterfield out in front. I think Dexter Patterson is still behind Rufus Hunt at the moment. Yes, he is. The young Scot is doing a great job as a Minimax driver. Up the inside, though, Koika goes through into P4 past Clayton Ravenscroft, and he has the nerve to signal. Come on, we need to catch the top three.
Gives him the think about it signal. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, think about it. Push me. I don't want to push you. I'll overtake you, and you push me. Think about it.
Every trick in the book will be played at this level, of course. It's as much a psychological game as it is a racecraft game, and through they come once again onto the far side of the circuit, heading up to the dogleg, the tightest corner in motorsport, and big lock up there from Dexter Patterson. He almost missed his braking point, and up the inside goes Ravenscroft.
Well, Dexter Patterson, if you watch him, every lap down into the dogleg, he's locking his rear tyres up. Now that can't help his tyres. But in karting, there's two ways of getting around the corner. You can either lock up, as we see, Canning up the inside for a spot. Hannafin goes with him, Koika down two. In karting, you can lock the rear end up. It turns the kart into the corner almost. That's one way of driving. Of course, going slow in, fast out, not locking the tyres up is another way. And I know from experience, neither one way or the other necessarily is quicker. It can be the same, just depends on your driving style. As Canning goes up the inside for another spot.
Canning on the inside. Now you can see just how much vibration there is through the camera here on board with Ravenscroft. We look back to Johnny Edgar. Oh, and a big run wide there. Who's that? That is Ravenscroft.
Cameraman.
That's Ravenscroft. That's one camera overtaking the other, and Ravenscroft has locked out big time there as Edgar flies through. But just look at the standing vibration on the camera. That's how much physicality is going through the kart as Canning.
Lloyd.
That's actually Alex Lloyd going through wearing Canning's suit. Come on, what's going on there?
I don't know what's going on with these suits, to be honest. The kids all seem to be wearing each other's suits. I think it's just hand-me-downs. It saves the parents buying a new suit at that particular time.
Well, it does, but that's the best spelling of Lloyd I've ever seen in my life, with a C, an A and a couple of N's to throw into the boot as well. And again, Dexter Patterson locks up just as you were saying there, Alan.
Yeah, down into that turn. He obviously likes to be heavy on the brakes at that point, Dexter. He's the British Cadet Champion last year, of course. Had that great night out at the Night of Champions, the official MSA Cadet Championship, the class here in Miami, as Lloyd goes up the inside of Koika for another spot.
Yeah, it's a nice move there from Alex Lloyd as well. It's a tricky part of the course to get it right into the elbow, and he nailed it absolutely beautifully. Meanwhile, Clayton Ravenscroft is now having to deal with Jeremy, who's working very hard here indeed here. Kieran Jeremy on the Thule Motorsport machine, and he's got two very feisty drivers behind him. Ravenscroft we're riding on board with, and Dominic Bush has come into play here in the 16 as well, just behind us as we make our way down to the dogleg. Once again, he's going to have to nail this right if he wants to take on Jeremy. Oh, no you don't. Dominic Bush is up the inside after all. So he exits the dogleg having made up a place. Back on board with Johnny Edgar. That's Lloyd in the 48 and the 77 of Koika in front. Koika's going to make the move up the inside of Lloyd, is he? Yes, he is, and Edgar's going to go with him.
Yeah, sixth place for Koika. Edgar through to 7th, and Lloyd drops from 6th to 8th in the one turn. But this is pretty spicy, this battle here. It's come through the right-hander. That is Dominic Bush, we're on board with the Thule Motorsport driver.
Yeah, we're only a few karts behind that battle when we switch to Ravenscroft, by the way. And up the inside goes Edgar on Koika, and I think he's going to leave the door open for Lloyd as well. This is a fantastic battle for 6th position. They're driving an absolutely cracking race here. And again now he's having to defend down to the dogleg. That is Guy Cunnington we're looking at. He's now made the move up the inside of Ravenscroft. So fantastic battles all the way through this field now, and Cunnington getting himself into play. Back to the front, and Rufus Hunt has dropped back to third position. We didn't see where Dexter Patterson got back into second position, but the Shenington Kart Club champion is now in third place, and we're into the last lap. My word, Dexter Patterson is not a million miles away from Jenson Butterfield. If the O-Plate makes one mistake, he could get the win here.
Yeah, Rufus Hunt actually, Jake, we haven't seen it because we're concentrating on that battle behind, but Rufus Hunt actually had the lead on Jenson Butterfield and then has lost it, and now back in third place. Looks like a podium at the moment.
Patterson locking up again into the dogleggers. Up the inside, Canning takes on Hannafin, and that's for fourth position. Those two are going to be battling all the way to the finish at this rate. Great battle. Canning again blocks to defend Hannafin, but I think Butterfield is going to be able to make it through the elbow and through Pitts Bend intact and in the lead. Bit of damage to the front of Rufus Hunt's nose, I can see there as he comes through with a checkered flag. Butterfield's going to take the win. Patterson in second, and unfortunately, as you'll see, Rufus Hunt is given a 10-second penalty for a drop nose cone, as we saw. So it's Canning who inherits third place from Lorcan Hannafin. Edgar is fifth from Lloyd. Koika, Jeremy, Cunnington and Ravenscroft round out the top 10, but it's Butterfield who wins.
What a crazy race. The start of that race with a little rain shower. Talk about the rain shower from your perspective. What happened?
It started raining at the start a little bit, but it didn't really do much to the track. And then down at the bottom, someone's radiator leaked, which made it wet, and a few drivers came off, which gave me a little bit of a gap at the start. And then towards the end, I was getting caught by Rufus, and he overtook me, and I went back in on them, which gave me the gap to win the race. So yeah, it was a really good weekend. I'd like to say big thanks to Strawberry Racing, my mechanic Toby, and all my family. Thank you.
Nice work this weekend from Jenson Butterfield. He now moves 10 points clear of Dexter Patterson in the championship. Johnny Edgar, Lorcan Hannafin and Alex Lloyd are not too far away either, so it's still very early days in the Minimax Championship, and it could be any one of those five that lifts the championship. It's Junior Rotax up next here at Rissington, and after his round one performance, Jonathan Hoggard is looking to convert another weekend into another fantastic victory.